So, welcome all the devotees for our further study of the nature of instruction, Shri Upadeshamrit. So, last time we were discussing the third text, Utsaha Nishaya Dhairyat, and we had some discussion on Utsaha and a brief discussion about Nishayat. So, today we will try to study the further aspects about Nishayat and then Dhairyat. And Krishna willingly, we also wish to study Tat Tat Karma Pravartana today. So Tattat Karma Pravartanat is following the regulative principles of devotional service. In Hari Bhakti Vilas, it is mentioned that there are millions of ways one can practice devotional service. There are millions of ways one can engage in the activities of bhakti. But Sri Rupa Goswami has very kindly, very mercifully given us all these millions of items in 64 items of devotional service. If we follow these 64 items of devotional service, then we will be able to attain Bhava for Krishna or Prema for Krishna. And Srila Prabhupada also, so although Srila Prabhupada Goswami gave us 64 items for performing bhakti, and he also explained that there are 5 most potent forms of devotional service. Sadhu Sangha, Nama Kirtan, Bhagavata Shravan, Mathura Vas, Sri Murti Veera, Shraddhaya Sevan. These 5 are the most potent forms of devotional service. And Srila Prabhupada, he has given us most of these items in our morning program. The way Srila Prabhupada designed the morning program, more than 40 or 44 items of devotional service, they get followed when we attend the full morning program, the way it happens in our ISKCON temples. And not only that, Srila Prabhupada also gave us the 4 regulative principles. Now, 4 regulative principles are not directly activities of bhakti, but they will enable one to come to the platform of practicing devotional service properly. So, it's very special Acharya who introduced this very clearly defined regulative principles in devotional service. What should be done, what should not be done. And following these principles, we hope and pray that we will be able to attain the ultimate goal of our devotional service, that is Krishna Prema. So, seeking blessings of Srila Rupa Goswami, who has given us all these principles, and also Srila Prabhupada, who practically carried out these principles in his own life. He showed us how to execute these principles in our life by his own example. So, we seek their blessings and begin today's study of Sri Padishamrit. So, we are on the third text right now. Please recite the verse. Utsaha Nishaya Dhairyat
निश्चया धैर्यात्
Tatkarma Pravartana
तत्तत्कर्मा प्रवर्तनात्
Sangatyaga
संगत्यागा सतो वृत्ते
Shadbir Bhakti Prasidhyati.
सद्भिर्
There are 6 principles favorable to the execution of pure devotional service. First, being enthusiastic. Second, endeavoring with confidence. Third, being patient. Fourth, acting according to regulative principles such as Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. Hearing, chanting, and remembering Krishna. 5. Abandoning the association of non-devotees. And 6. Following the footsteps of the previous acharyas. These 6 principles undoubtedly assure the complete success of pure devotional service. So, we discussed in detail how Srila Prabhupada first, in the purport, begins discussing what is bhakti. Before we know how to enhance our bhakti, first we should know what is bhakti. And one point that Prabhupada has pointed out is bhakti is activity. It is a sort of cultivation. It is not just some mental imagination. One has to carry out activities in devotional service. And for these activities, one should be very enthusiastic. So, this principle of enthusiasm also we have discussed in detail. And we also read about dhairyat and nishchayat. These two will come together. One should not be impatient in Krishna consciousness. And Prabhupada gives his own example how he single handedly, with a lot of patience, he began this Krishna consciousness movement. And one should depend on mercy of Guru and Krishna. First, one should take instruction from the spiritual master, execute them with patience. It should depend on mercy of Guru and Krishna. And successful execution of Krishna conscious activities require both patience and confidence. So patience is dhairyat and confidence is nishchayat. Prabhupada also explained, we read this last time, how a newly married girl naturally expects offsprings from her husband, but she cannot get it immediately. She has to have some patience. And we also uh, read many sections from this purport because amongst these six principles, Srila Prabhupada has explained or elaborated maximum on this second principle, that is Nishchayat, or having confidence in devotional service. So, one of the confidence in devotional service or firm faith in bhakti that the devotee should have is Avashya Rakshibe Krishna. Krishna will surely protect me. Hmm. Uh, and then Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati's commentary we went through how one is convinced that this path of karma, path of jnana, and path of sense enjoyment will not lead to the desired result. I should be convinced about this. That is Nishchayat. We also went through how the path of bhakti is very special because Lord is going to protect his devotees. We don't get such protection in other paths. I gave example of the cat way and the monkey way. The other parts of yoga are like the monkey way, where the baby monkey is catching hold of the mother monkey. But path of bhakti is cat way of carrying. So kitten is very nicely uh, hold or caught by the mother cat, and she takes care. And so here Prabhupada has quoted Kaunteya pratijanahi name bhaktah pranashyati. Another aspect of bhakti is neha vikramana shosti. Even a small amount of devotional service is never lost. We discussed about this earlier also, how bhakti can be practiced in any condition of life. Someone may be in the womb, someone may be a small child, someone may be adult, someone may be old, someone may be at the time of death, or someone in heaven, someone in hell. In all these places, bhakti can be practiced. Another nishchayat one should have is once I began devotional service, I will surely attain success. I discussed how Prabhupada calls Krishna consciousness as a terminal disease because the experience that one has experienced, one has experienced, the experience of bhakti that one has got, or pleasure of bhakti that one has experienced, touches soul, the deepest layer of our existence. Whereas other pleasures, they touch only the gross body or the subtle body. So, longing for that most deep experience that we have had in devotional service, one will again want to practice bhakti. And that is how I will come to the end result. We also discussed how bhakti is ahetuki apratihata. Here, this is slightly different meaning. Ahetuki means it is not caused by any mundane activity. And apratihata, it cannot be obstructed by uh, anything. Bhakti cannot be obstructed. And bhakti also will help one develop all good qualities. Being convinced of all this, a Mahatma will do ananya manaso bhajan. Bhajanti ananya manaso. That is nishchayat. And that's how we completed the sections of Nishchay. There are a few more things I wanted to discuss about this theme of Nishchayat, something specially from Bhagavad Gita, which will help us gain better understanding of. this aspect. Let me share a few verses. So this is Gita 6.24. स निश्चयेन योक्तव्यो योगो निर्विण्ण चेतसा योगो अनिर्विण्ण चेतसा. So the same word you can see here, nischayena. One should practice with nischay. And here nischay is determination. Yogo anirvinna chetasa. Uh, there will be many obstacles, many failures that may come, and one should remain undisturbed by these kind of obstacles which will come. Krishna says one should engage oneself in the practice of yoga with determination and faith and not be deviated from the path. One should abandon without exception all material desires born of mental speculation and thus control all the senses on all sides by the mind. And here Prabhupada gives this example from this sparrow. So this should be the determination, or actually from the example of sparrow who was trying to dry up the ocean, we can learn all three principles: utsaha, nishchaya, and dhairya. So it so happened that this sparrow had lost her eggs in the waves of ocean, and some acharyas explained that these eggs are one's Krishna consciousness, and this ocean is compared to Maya. So Maya has taken away our Krishna consciousness. Realizing this, the sparrow challenges ocean that give me my eggs back. But ocean says, what the sparrow will do. Maya is like ocean, very, very powerful. Devi Isha Gudamai, Mama Maya Duratya. But when the ocean does not pay any heed to the request of uh, the sparrow takes a challenge that if you do not give me my eggs back, I will dry you up. And ocean laughs at this. But the sparrow does not get discouraged. Sparrow begins its very tiny endeavor, goes to the ocean. Uh, how much water can sparrow uh, carry in one trip? In the beak, which is very small, just few drops of water. It takes within its beak, goes far into the land and spits out. Again, goes to the ocean, sips in little water, and flies back deep into the land, and again spits out. So the ocean feels, what is this? What is my tiny sparrow is going to do by this going back and forth? How much water? How many lifetimes it will take? It's not possible. But the sparrow does not lose its enthusiasm. The sparrow has full conviction and a lot of patience. But what happens by this endeavor is that sparrow attracts mercy of Garuda. And Garuda comes and Garuda challenges ocean, give back the eggs. Otherwise, I will dry you up. And Garuda is challenging ocean. Ocean has to get frightened. Ocean was very much afraid of its own existence, and ocean returned back the eggs. So that's how the jiva can get back its Krishna consciousness from the ocean like Maya. When the jiva will attract mercy of Krishna or Krishna's devotees. And for attracting this mercy, one has to be enthusiastic, one should be determined, and one should also be very patient, like that. So there is another verse in Bhagavad Gita which explains how one is supposed to practice with Nishchaya. This is 9.3. Hmm. Krishna says, Ashraddhadhana Purusha Dharmasyasya Parantapa Aprapya Mam Nivartante Mrityu Samsara Vartmani. Ashraddhadhana Purusha, one who does not have Shraddha or one who does not have Nishchaya, confidence in the path of bhakti. What happens for him? Aprapya Mam Nivartante, he cannot obtain me. And because he cannot obtain me, Nivartante, where does he go back? Mrityu samsara vartmani. He comes back to the cycle of birth and death. Multiple places in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna mentions that one has to practice, but one has to practice with faith. I'll read the translation. Krishna says, those who are not faithful in devotional service cannot attain me, O conqueror of enemies. Therefore, they return to the path of birth and death in this material world. So we should not become afraid that Krishna is kind of threatening us. That a practice with faith. We don't practice with faith, then you'll have to suffer in the cycle of birth and death. What is the purpose of mentioning this thing here? Krishna is mentioning this thing here because he wants to tell us that bhakti is not just about external activities. So we discussed how bhakti requires activities. But here Krishna is specifying bhakti is not just about external activities. One also has to work upon his internal consciousness. I may be engaging externally in the acts of bhakti. I may be chanting, I may be hearing, I may be worshipping, I may be executing the orders of the spiritual master. But what is my internal consciousness? Do I have Shraddha? Do I have faith? That is very important because without Shraddha, if one practices bhakti, then what will happen? Very soon, he will not be able to continue practice of bhakti. And when one does not practice bhakti, automatically one will get attracted to the materialistic activities of this world. And when you are attracted to the materialistic activities and engage in materialistic activities, one will return back to the path of birth and death in this material world. And Srila Prabhupada mentions uh, yeah, he tells first that verse from Chaitanya Charitamrita, which I quoted last time, Shraddha Shabde Vishwas Kahe Sudruda Nishchay. Again, the word Nishchay is coming here. Shraddha Shabde Vishwas Kahe Sudruda Nishchay Krishna Bhakti Kaile Sarva Karma Krita Hai. Uh, a person who is having Nishchay or firm conviction that if I do Krishna Bhakti, Sarva Karma Krita hai. Everything will be fulfilled. Everything will be taken care of. I don't have to worry. And Prabhupada quotes very interestingly this verse, Yatha Tarod Mula Nishichanena, in this connection. That this verse mentions how by watering the root of the tree, one is nourishing all the branches, the leaves, and the fruits of the tree. Or by putting food in the stomach, one is automatically supplying nourishment to all the limbs of the body. Same way, a devotee has that nischay, he has that conviction. If I serve Krishna, uh, everyone will be satisfied, everyone will be taken care, everything will be taken care. That should be the nischay. So last time I also discussed the metaphor of journey. No? So having that confidence on the path that one is walking is nischay. And when that confidence is there, then one will be able to travel that path very enthusiastically. And while traveling, he also has to have patience because it will take some time to reach the destination. Now, in the later part of this verse purport, Prabhupada mentions something very important which we would like to read. He mentions about the three kinds of adhikaris, the three kinds of devotees. I'm reading the purport. Now, the development of that faith is the process of Krishna consciousness. Actually, bhakti is all about increasing our faith. The various stages that we go through, Adav Shraddha, Tatha Sadhu Sangha, Tatha Bhajana Kriya, Tatha Anartha Nivritti, all these stages are basically progressive, I mean, gradual progressive faith. Level of different level of faith that we have. The increase of our faith is basically the progressive devotional service. Someone who is at the stage of Ado Shraddha, he has very little faith. Someone at the stage of Nishtha has very firm faith. Someone at the stage of Bhava or Prema, no needless to say about him, is like completely convinced. There is no way he will have any kind of doubt on the path of devotional service. So Prabhupada says the development of that faith is the process of Krishna consciousness. There are three divisions of Krishna conscious men. In the third class are those who have no faith. So that is Kanishta Adhikari. They do not have any faith. Even if they are officially engaged in devotional service, they cannot achieve the highest perfectional stage. Most probably, they will slip after some time. So, this is what will happen if we just externally engage in bhakti without faith. They may become engaged, but because they have not complete conviction and faith, it is very difficult for them to continue in Krishna consciousness. We have practical experience in discharging our missionary activity that some people come and apply themselves to Krishna consciousness with some hidden motive. And as soon as they are economically a little well situated, they give up this process and take to their old ways again. It is only by faith that one can advance in Krishna consciousness. As far as the development of faith is concerned, one who is well versed in the literatures of devotional service and has attained the stage of firm faith is called a first class person in Krishna consciousness. So here Prabhupada is giving one hint is one has to be well versed in the scriptures. Uh, more well versed you are in scriptures and more Shraddha you have, more advanced you are considered. Further, Prabhupada writes, and in the second class are those who are not very advanced in understanding the devotional scriptures, but who automatically have firm faith that Krishna Bhakti or service to Krishna is the best course, and so in good faith have taken it up. Thus, they are superior to the third class, who have neither perfect knowledge of the scriptures nor good faith, but by the association and simplicity are trying to follow. The third class person in Krishna consciousness may fall down, but when one is in the second class, he does not fall down. And for the first class person in Krishna consciousness, there is no chance of falling down. One in the first class will surely make progress and achieve the result at the end. As far as the third class person in Krishna consciousness is concerned, although he has faith and conviction that devotion service to Krishna is very good, he has not yet gained adequate knowledge of Krishna through the scriptures like Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. Sometimes these third class persons in Krishna consciousness have some tendency toward Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga, and sometimes they are disturbed. But as soon as the infection of Karma Yoga or Jnana Yoga is vanquished, they become second class or first class persons in Krishna consciousness. Hmm. So, so this is what we discussed in the aspects of Laulyam also. How one is not convinced, it's getting confused again and again. Should I really practice bhakti? Is this really the correct path? But when we will study scriptures and gain faith in scriptures, one will be able to progress further. So, by study of scriptures and by association of devotees who have that faith, one will get that nishchaya. Last time I also explained how nishchaya should be in scriptures. One should have faith in three principles we discussed last time: Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. But amongst these three, scriptures they stand out. Uh, I also explained last time how Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has given Amnaya Sutras, the 10 Dashamula Tattva by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And the first one he says in that is first we have to accept the most basic foundational understanding in bhakti is scriptures are the authority. And from that, he derives nine other principles, like Krishna is supreme personality of Godhead, how Brahman Paramatma are not equal with the personal form of the Lord. What is the relationship of living entity and Krishna? What is goal of the living entity and the path of yoga? All these details come later. But foundation of all this is in scriptures. So I'll show one more verse from Gita where this will become more clear. And this is 4.40. Again, Krishna speaks about Shraddha here. He says, Agnyascha ashraddadhanascha samshayatma vinashyati nayam lokosti na paro na sukham samshayatmanah. Agnyascha, one who is ignorant. Ashraddadhanascha, one who knows the path of bhakti but does not have Shraddha. Samshayatma is person who is always very doubtful. What will happen to such people? Vinashrati, they will get destroyed. Na ayam loko asti na paro. He will not become happy here. He'll not become happy there. See, so that way, a person who is practicing bhakti but is very doubtful, he's more unfortunate because he cannot be happy here. And surely he's not going back to God. Even a materialistic person is much better because at least he will do experience some happiness in this world. So interestingly, if you read the translation here, even in word to word meaning, Prabhupada says Agya is a fool who has no knowledge of the standard scriptures. Ashraddhana means without faith in revealed scriptures. See, Shraddha could be discussed at various levels. Shraddha in devotees, Shraddha in Krishna, Shraddha in Harinam, Shraddha in Archa Vigraha, so many things. No, Prabhupada says Shraddha in scriptures. And even in the translation, he says, but ignorant and faithless persons who doubt the revealed scriptures do not attain God consciousness. They fall down. For the doubting soul, there is happiness neither in this world nor in the next. And whole purport, Prabhupada is going to speak about scriptures. So I just want to reinforce the point I made last time that Shraddha means first Shraddha in scriptures. One has to have full faith that whatever Shastras are teaching me, that is perfect, that is complete. I don't need anything else. And because scriptures are saying, therefore I accept. So, and for that purpose, actually, we have joined this Bhakti Shastri course so that we study this Bhakti Shastras and gain firm faith in this Bhakti Shastras so that we will not have any doubts. Because to the degree we have conviction in this path, to that degree we will be able to practice very enthusiastically and with full patience. Because Shastras say Krishna Prem will come by chanting holy name and have full faith in scriptures. So I will not give up chanting. Are you getting? So all the foundational things they begin from scriptures. So and that's why Chaitanya Charitamrita also mentions about this. Maya Mugdha Jivir Nahi Swata Krishna Nyan. Hmm? The living entity who is captured by Maya, Nahi Swata Krishna Nyan. He does not have any knowledge about Krishna. Then how will he get knowledge about Krishna? Jivera Kripaya Kaila Krishna Veda Puram. Out of his mercy on the living entities, Krishna gave us Vedas and Puranas. So to gain uh, Nishchaya, one has to study scriptures. And if we study scriptures and associate with people who have that Nishchaya, we will be able to go on for a longer time. And that's what we see in the life of all the acharyas, especially Srila Prabhupada. This firm faith in the scriptures. He had so much faith that we sometimes doubt whether bhakti will work for me or not. But acharyas like Srila Prabhupada, they have firm faith that bhakti will not only work upon me, but it will work upon all living beings. Bhakti has to work. Bhakti will work. And whatever is mentioned in scriptures will surely come true. So I'll just show here um, references from two Vaishnava songs where we get to see Prabhupada's Nischay. So this is Prabhupada's song when he was on board Jaladuta. Hmm. गुरु कृपा कोइले कृष्ण अध मेर प्रति की लागिया नीले हिता कोरोइले गति. And here Prabhupada says, I don't know why you brought me here in this land of America, but I have uh, firm faith that you have something in your mind. And if you desire, surely all these people will be able to take to the path of bhakti. Uh, by your desire, they have become captivated. By your desire, they will be liberated. And then he says, Bhagavatir kathai tava avatar, dhira hayya shune jadi kane bar bar. At full faith hmm, that, oh my Lord, you have appeared as Bhagavat, you have appeared as scriptures. And anyone who gets to hear these scriptures, dhira hayya, they will become sober. Um, we discussed about the dhira in the first verse. Vacho vegam manasa krodha vegam, jivva vegam udaropastha vegam, etan vegan yo vishaheta dhira. One, even in Western world, people will be able to come to the stage of dhira when they hear this Bhagavatir Katha bar bar. And even in the Vaishnava song, here we see Prabhupada is quoting direct verses from the scriptures. That was his firm faith. See, these verses from Bhagavatam, Shravanam Kirtan, Srinvatam Swat Katha, Krishna, Punya Shravana Kirtana, Kridayantasto Bhadrani Vidhunoti Surutsata. This is, this is my faith. Because Bhagavatam says this will surely happen. Uh, when someone hears Katha, and in the last he says Bhakti nahi, Veda nahi, Name Khobadaro, Bhakti Vedanta Nam Eke Sartakam. Then I don't have Bhakti, I don't have knowledge also, but I have firm faith, I have strong faith in the holy name of yours. And your holy name will surely do the miracle. And these are the two things Srila Prabhupada carried to America. He carried Bhagavatam sets and he carried the holy name. Obviously, Srila Prabhupada also made a lot of efforts in serving this Prasad, Krishna Prasad, which was personally cooked by Prabhupada. But primarily from India, he carried these two things, Bhagavatam and the holy name. And that's what he did there. He was chanting in the park for hours together with full nischay that this will work. He had so much nischay in another song. We can see this Krishna Tava Punya Hame Bhai. Mm, sorry. Yeah. He says, कृष्ण तब पुण्य विवाह ए पुण्य करिबे जबे राधा रानी खुशी हबे ध्रुव अति बोले तुम है. He says तार इच्छा बलवान पाश्चात्य ते ठान ठान होए जाते गौरांगेर नाम पृथ्वी ते नगर आदि आ समुद्र नदन आदि सकिले मोहे कृष्ण नाम. Prabhupada had so much faith because that time people were feeling in India only they are not taking up uh, chanting seriously. Why this Swamiji is going to the West? But Prabhupada said not only in the towns and cities of the West, even in oceans, samudra nadanadi, and in rivers, people will start chanting holy names. I'll just read the translation. His desire is very powerful, and thus he is causing the holy name of Lord Gauranga to spread throughout all the West countries of the Western world. In all cities, towns, and villages on earth, extending to all the oceans, rivers, and streams, Nada Nadi, everyone may accept the holy name of Krishna. And it is because you have desired, it will surely happen. So actually, we can go through many such songs by Srila Prabhupada where we see his firm nischay. He had full faith that this path of bhakti will work. Hmm. Uh, so their faith is at very high level. That faith path of bhakti will surely work upon everyone. At least we have to have faith that it will work upon me. I may not become a big preacher by trying to transform other people, right? But we should be completely convinced that this chanting of the holy names is Sarva Roga Nivarini. All kinds of diseases will be uh, taken care of by chanting the holy names. So Prabhupada had full faith. That's why he could take so many risks. Someone was giving him donation, and Prabhupada would not become too much obliged to people who are giving donation because he had firm faith that Krishna is sending. This person, he has Paramatma in his heart, and Paramatma in his heart is inspiring him to give some donation. So that's how he would see. That is a sign of Sharanagati. Sharanagati means Anukulyasya Sankalpa Pratikulyasya Varjanam Rakshasyate iti Vishwaso. Gopturukte Varanam Tata. Krishna is maintainer. And when a devotee has such a nischaya, he doesn't get disturbed. Mhm. He sees Krishna's clap and Krishna's slap equally. Mhm. You do something good and Krishna is clapping. Hari Bol, very nice, Prabhu. And then sometimes Krishna may slap. And as soon as slap comes, one may not want to practice. Say, what is this? Why is Krishna slapping? But a firm nischay is whether Krishna is giving clap or whether he's giving slap. It is same. And we can see this in life of Srila Prabhupada also. Jagat Guru, who has been predicted by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who has actually proven what the previous acharyas were predicting, even he had to go through so many difficulties. Even he was feeling I'm getting slapped. Before going to America, so many places Prabhupada tried, and everywhere he was getting disappointed. Everywhere he was facing a failure. But he had full nischay. Whether Krishna slaps me or Krishna claps, I should not be disturbed. So we should have this kind of nischay actually in the path of bhakti, in scriptures, and in the acharyas who are teaching these scriptures. And then comes the next element of dhairyat. Dhairyat, I will not read again from the book because we already read about it. Prabhupada is giving example of a married woman who expects a child. She has to be patient. Actually, any patient has to be patient. We cannot say to doctor that I have a fracture within 2-3 hours or some, because the world has become so fast. Everything is available instantly, and there are challenges like you order grocery, if it doesn't reach in 10 minutes, then you can sue us in the court, like that. So everything is instant, fast food, um, fast delivery, fast laptops, fast computers, fast phones. What else has become very fast nowadays?
Prabhuji, fast
Oh,
food.
fast internet. Huh? Fast food also, fast internet also. Yeah. What else has become very fast? Fast travel, correct. The traveling has also become very fast. Those days, if somebody has to go from here to Vrindavan, he has to go by bullock cart or something. They have a lot of patience. Oh, even maids you can get instantly now. Huh? That's a great blessing for people. Fast connectivity. Oh, people are slow. That's correct. Everything else has become fast. Fast media news. Fast
Fast
life
food.
is the life itself has become so fast. So in such times when everything has become so fast, hmm, fast courses also, fast distractions, fast relationships. Very true. So in this world where everything is so fast, The buildings are also fast. Practically, what would take 10 years to construct, now people can just do it in 6 months. Everything is so fast. So, in such a place where, yeah, giving up also is fast, death is also fast. Thank you. So, in this time when everything is a fast way to hell, only has written. So, in this times when everything is so fast, one wants progress in bhakti also very fast. Mm. Uh, Today I begin chanting, tomorrow I should get initiation, next day Brahman initiation, and fourth day I should be flying in the sky. Uh, but no, Prabhupada says path of bhakti you have to have patience. In path of bhakti you have to have all the more patience. Why? Because the result is not in our hand. That's the most amazing thing about bhakti. It's fully depending upon the sweet will of the Lord. Somebody may have practiced bhakti very nicely for decades together, he may not get Krishna Prem. And someone within few months, he may be awarded Krishna Prem. And seeing that, one may feel, what is this? What is happening? No, one has to have dhairyat. So Prabhupada explains dhairyat means taking instruction from the spiritual master, executing that instruction, and then depend upon Guru and Krishna for the result. Just like the fruits and the flowers. Like last time, Manisha Mataji gave an example of a farmer who goes and sows the seed. So he has to have some faith, he has to be enthusiastic, and then he has to wait for the result. Now imagine someone sows a sapling or someone sows a seed and starts watering. And for many days, he doesn't see anything coming out. And he's expecting instant Krishna Prem fruit. If he becomes impatient, uh, so sometimes you might have seen that if we become impatient in some situation, do we go and disrupt it? This is not going to work. And just uproot all the seeds and throw them out. Do we do that? No, because if you do that, it is going to take all the more time. Whatever time you spent in waiting for the sapling to grow, all that your effort is gone now. And again, you have to start from scratch. So, one devotee nicely said that don't uproot in doubt what was planted in faith. So, when you planted in faith, have patience. It will come. Why it will come? Nishchayat, because scriptures give this guarantee. Hmm. So, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Dhairyat means not becoming slack in the limbs of bhakti, even if there is delay in attaining the results. And Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur in his Bhakti Alok, he says that the practitioner of devotional service should have dhairya. One who possesses the quality of dhairya is called dhira. Those who are impatient cannot practice bhakti for a long time. And by the quality of dhairya, a practitioner will control himself and eventually he will also control the whole world. And then Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur goes on giving detailed understanding of the first verse of NOI. Vacho Vegam, Manasa Vegam, Krodha Vegam, Jigva Vegam, Udara Vegam, Upastha Vegam. He is a Dhira. So Dhira, basically understanding that he is giving is there will be agitations. And in the situation of agitation, not becoming agitated is patience. So two aspects of patience we see here. One aspect of patience is not getting agitated in the situation of disturbance. And second aspect of dhairya is perseverance. Uh, One should persevere, uh, even if there is no result. One has to continue working very hard. So, where all we need patience in life of sadhaka? In which all aspects do we need patience? Okay, in chanting, we need a lot of patience. Every day we need patience. Very nice. Dealing with which all situations we need. Okay, dealing with devotees, we need patience. Very good. When you're dealing with devotees, you need dhairyat. Work in progress, Prabhu. Have patience. Don't get disturbed. In raising our children in a Krishna conscious way, we need patience. Very good. In book distribution also, we need patience because we won't get results immediately. Dealing with non-devotees, very nice. We should be very patient. Dealing with non-devotees, we should be very patient. And Sanagopal Prabhu says, anarthas, we have to be very patient with our anarthas. Don't expect your anartha to disappear tomorrow. As Krishna said, I quoted last time also, Shaknoti haiva sodum prak sharira vimokshanat kama krododbhavam vegam sayukta sasukhi nara. Till you leave this body, this kama krodha will keep haunting you. Be patient. Don't get disturbed. So in book reading and in listening lectures, especially my classes, you have to have a lot of patience. इतना स्लो जा रहा है पता नहीं भक्ति शास्त्री होने वाला है इस लाइफ टाइम में कि नहीं. But don't worry, हो जाएगा. In preaching, one has to have a lot of patience. In cooking, also one has to have a lot of patience. If you are impatient in cooking, imagine how will be the result. So one has to have patience in all these things. And actually, it is said, if one feels himself very unqualified, to the degree we have humility, to that degree it will become easy to practice dhairya, patience. Because you feel you're not qualified. Like suppose you're preaching to someone, and you feel, what preaching will I do, Prabhu? I am only a big work in progress. What will I preach? I am only not a proper devotee myself. Uh, but still, because it is agya of my spiritual master, I am trying to preach. So when this is a consciousness, one will have a lot of patience in dealing with people whom he is trying to preach. Because he feels he himself is not the proper devotee. Correct? So cultivating humility uh, will automatically help us focus on the internal work that we have to do, and that will help us generate patience. Now, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, in connection with perseverance, he quotes Chaitanya Bhagavat, Adi Khanda 16.94, where Haridas Thakur, we see his perseverance in devotional service. That level of patience we should have, that level of nishchaya we should have. What was his nishchaya? खंड खंड है देह जाय यदि प्राण तबु आमि वदने न छाड़ी हरि नाम. खंड खंड है देह, even if you cut my body into millions of pieces, jai yati pran, even if my life goes away, tabu ami vadane na chhade harinam, I will not give up chanting. That should be one's patience and perseverance in chanting. Even if cut my body into millions of pieces, I'll not give up my uh, chanting. So obviously nothing like that is going to happen to us. So we should not have any excuse in not chanting properly. So there are two another important verses I show from Bhagavatam. One is 4:8:33. This is from the section of Dhruva Maharaj. Yasya yaddaiva vihitam satena sukha dukkhayo atmanam toshanam dehi tamasa param vichyati. One should try to keep himself satisfied in any condition of life, whether distress or happiness, which is offered by the Supreme Will. A person who endures in this way is able to cross over the darkness of nescience very easily. Hmm. Says, yasya yad daiva vihitam. Whatever way Daiva has kept me. Satena sukha dukkhayo, whether it is sukha or dukkha, one accepts it. Atmanam toshayan, he is satisfied in that situation. Such a person, tamasaha param, he will cross over the ignorance of this material world and attain the ultimate liberation. And there is another verse which teaches us patience. Um, is what is that? Tatte anukampam. Hmm. This is Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 14th chapter, text number 8, the prayer of Lord Brahma. So, see, these verses I'm quoting in connection with remaining undisturbed in agitating situations. Just by remaining undisturbed, one attains mukti. Agitating situation is coming and you don't get disturbed. The previous verse was like that. Atmanam toshayan dehi. Yes, yad daiva vihitam. Just by remaining satisfied, just by remaining patient, one attains liberation. This is another verse, another praman for that. Tatte anukampam susamikshamaano bhunjana evatmakritam vipakam. Ritvag bapurbe vidadan namaste jivetayo mukti pade sadaya bhag. One is very grateful internally. He thanks Krishna for all the difficulties that are coming in his life. He sees them as his own karma. Jivetayo mukti pade sadaya bhag. While living, he becomes eligible for liberation. The transcription goes as follows. My dear Lord, one who earnestly waits for you to bestow your causeless mercy upon him, all the while patiently suffering. See, patience. Dhairya. All the while patiently suffering the reactions of his past misdeeds and offering you respectful obeisances with his heart, words, and body, is surely eligible for liberation, for it has become his rightful claim. So, first we saw perseverance of Haridas Thakur, and then we saw not becoming agitated in agitating situations from Dhruva Maharaj section and from Brahmaji's prayers. So, this is also another aspect of Dhairya. So, there is a verse that Prabhupada would quote time and again, which explains how the result of bhakti is not in our hand. Nayam atma pravachanena. Okay, this is from Katha Upanishad 1 to 23. Nayam atma pravachanena labhyo na medhya na bahuna shutena. Yam evaish vrinute tena labhyas. Tasyaiva atma vivrunote tanum swam. Nayam atma pravachanena labhyo. By doing a lot of pravachan or what we can say, lot of discussions or arguments, one will not gain Krishna. No, Medhya, you will not gain Krishna by your intelligence. Na bahuna shutena, by a lot of learning also one cannot obtain Krishna. So, who will obtain Krishna? Yam evaishu vrinate. Whomever he selects. Yes, I want to get revealed to him. Only he can reveal, only he can be revealed, or he can obtain Krishna. So many such verses are there which tell that oh, you can only do your duty, but further things are not in your hand. No matter how much pravachan you do, no matter how much arguments you do, no matter how intelligent you are, no matter how learned you are, you have to have patience. Because the perfection is only by the sweet will of the Lord. Can you share some examples of this? Okay, सारा गाय माथे र तिलक गौर मिले ना. Hmm. So that speaks about how one has to have good character also. But yeah, even if you have all these kinds of things, there is no guarantee that you will get God. Okay. Any other uh, explanations or how one may do many things, but that doesn't guarantee that one will get Krishna. Okay, Punjrika Lota Baba. He has to have patience. Very classical example. Uh, Lord told, I will come back. I will come back. But he's still waiting. He don't know when will Krishna come. But he had Utsahat, Nishchayat, and Dhairya. I will wait for Krishna to come. And from Bharat Maharaj, uh, he was also patient. Yes, he was also waiting with patience whenever Lord shows mercy. Shabri also. And Prahlad Maharaj, the gopis in Vrindavan.
Gopis.
Very, very true. Gopis also. We don't know. I mean, even gopis, Krishna left them also. So finally, it is his will. You don't know. You cannot control him. Yeah, Mukunda in Mahaprakash Leela is a classical example for Utsaha Nishchaya Dhairya. So patient. What was he told? You will see Lord after 1 million lifetimes. And he jumped in ecstasy. Hari bol. I will see, even if after 1 million lifetimes, but I will see how fortunate I am. And then Lord changed his mind. He said, okay, come right now. Immediately you will get darshan. Immediately you will get mercy. So this is uh, the Lord's sweet will and the patience of a devotee. Very nice. Yes, Bhishma Dev also was waiting with patience. Whenever Krishna comes, he was waiting with patience. Correct. Sanat Gopal, you want to speak something?
Guruji, in this connection, only Krishna chooses to whom he gives to whom he chooses. In that, believes mm, when Devanand Pandit and his disciples were reading Srimad Bhagavatam, so they threw Srivas Thakur out of the place, and that time the Lord said that I did not reveal to them, but I revealed to you only. And that time I appeared as myself in your heart. So,
Correct. That example also is very nice. Thank you. So we see Narada boy also. He left everything. He was meditating. Lord gave darshan and suddenly disappeared. And then he was told, in this lifetime, you'll not see me again. Imagine Lord tells you personally like this. First, he gives you small darshan and he says, in this lifetime, I'm not giving you darshan. So what most of the people will do? छोड़ो यार. And ऊपर से आ गया है letter, no? The proper letter has come that I'm not going to give darshan now in this lifetime. Why should I do? Anyways, let me give up now. No. Although he was told that in this lifetime you will not get my darshan, he continued with determination, with enthusiasm, with patience, the practice of Bhakti. This is Dhruva Maharaj also and Brahmaji also. Very true. Very nice examples. So sometimes in one lifetime also it will not be possible. How many generations it took for Mother Ganga to appear? And did say one person, in the past he decided that Ganga should come. Mother Ganga I will bring. Um, so by his endeavors, could he bring Mother Ganga on the earth? Okay, aware of the past time? It took 3 generations for Mother Ganga to come. Hmm. First, one personality started, and then where he left off, next generation started. Hmm. The final one was Bhagirathi. The last one was Bhagirathi, who just carried out the incomplete task from wherever it was left. He did further thing. So the endeavor started in one lifetime, and after 2 generations, the result came. And it was very difficult. It was very difficult task, but still you can see the patience of the devotees who endeavored to bring mother. In my lifetime, it will not be possible. We can see so many construction projects also like that in the Vedic times. Some temples are built up. It took some 300 years. We see right now, oh, such a huge structure, but it took 3 generations, 4 generations, 5 generations to bring up that structure. And they were very patient. हमें पता है, no, we will not be able to see the Lord residing in this temple in our lifetime because our previous generation also could not do that. They left in between, and now we will do it. Our next to next generation will be able to see. And they had full patience in carrying on. They understood just my sincerely, enthusiastically, with firm conviction, continuing my bhakti will be pleasing to Krishna. Sometimes some devotees quote Bhaktivinoda Thakur that it will take at least 3 lifetimes to perfect your life. And devotees become hopeless. Okay, what is this? Prabhupada said 1 lifetime, but you are saying, Bhaktivinoda Thakur said it takes 3 lifetimes. तो यही लाइफ टाइम कितना मुश्किल है नो एंड सेकंड टाइम आई डोंट वांट टू कम बिकॉज इफ आई कम आई डोंट नो वेयर विल आई बी born and what will happen and what Gen Z is right now, which Z will come, which generation will come, and I'll be part of that. It will be so difficult, but one should remember the example of this Bhagirathi. Even if it takes generations, lifetimes, no problem. You should remember the story of Mukunda. Obviously, we don't know which lifetime is this. Maybe this is the third one. We can think like that. So if someone says it will take 3 lifetimes, we feel maybe this is the first. After this, 2 more. But who has said that? Maybe this is the third one, the last one. So one should not worry too much about when will the result come. One should worry about practicing his bhakti sincerely. There was one Gaudacharya. His disciple was Shankaracharya. And this Gaudacharya, he told Shankaracharya that in spiritual life, how much patience you need? You need patience like one trying to dry up the ocean using a kusha grass. So you take a kusha grass, dip in the ocean, and sprinkle out. How much time it will take if you want to dry up ocean? That much patience we should have in practicing devotional service. Hare Krishna. That was the instruction given to Shankaracharya. Not to someone like us. To Shankaracharya, that was told. So, yeah, we see as soon as Jagata Goswami Maharaj is patiently waiting for the DYP to be completed also. Correct. So now we come to the next aspect of tat karma pravartana. Okay. Srila Prabhupada writes, as already explained, one should not be idle, but should be very enthusiastic about executing the regulative principles tat karma pravartan. Neglect of the regulative principles will destroy devotional service. In this Krishna consciousness movement, there are 4 basic regulative principles: forbidding illicit sex, meditating, gambling, and intoxication. A devotee must be very enthusiastic about following these principles. If he becomes slack in following any of them, his progress will certainly be checked. Srila Rupa Goswami therefore recommends tat karma pravartanat. One must strictly follow the regulative principles of Vaidhi Bhakti. In addition to these 4 prohibitions, yama, there are positive regulative principles, niyama, such as the daily chanting of 16 rounds on Japamala beads. These regulative activities must be faithfully performed with enthusiasm. This is called tat karma pravartan, or varied engagement in devotional service. Okay, then Prabhupada writes about Sangatyagat, which we will discuss later. Right now, we will see tat karma pravartana. So why tat, tat? You know the meaning of tat in Sanskrit? What is tat?
Yes.
Tat means that. Correct. Tat means that. So tat means that. Karma means activities, and pravartan means engagement. Hmm. So one should have engagement in that activities. Now why that? What is that? Why two times he's saying tat? Any guess? Mean all? Yeah. But something more specific we already read in the purport just now. Okay, to emphasize, he's saying that is one thing. Says Sangeeta Majari, you say?
भक्तिमय सेवा
Bhakti mein seva,
भक्तिमय
correct?
सेवा
Okay, Manisha Mataji has got the answer. Uh, yeah, Namok Shampoo also. The do's and the don'ts, Vidhi and Nisheth. That is what Prabhupada also mentioned in the purport. There are two things. There is Vidhi and there is Nisheth. Nisheth is Yama and Vidhi is Niyama. Hmm. Or prescriptions and prohibitions. That. Both the things one has to do. Some people may feel, what is this? Why you people have so many rules of negatives? Just do positive things. Just chant. Just dance. Just take prasad. No. Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains here that tat means the vidhi and the nished. The prescriptions is like Shravan, Kirtan, Smaran, Archan, and nished is prohibitions. Uh, is prohibitions is like giving up sense gratification, not committing any offenses, not doing any criticism, not associating with non-devotees, things like that. So both one has to do. This is very special thing about Krishna consciousness movement is gone. That we are not just teaching chanting of the holy names, but we are also telling the 10 offenses to be avoided. This is not generally taught in many places, in many sampradayas also. Hmm. They just say, okay, naam hi saar hai, Kaliyug mein, nothing, no other way, no other way, no other way. Chanting is the only way, only way, only way. Yes. But every time you see Prabhupada's class on initiation ceremony, he speaks about the 10 offenses to be avoided. So one has to do both. One should not just chant, one should also avoid the offenses toward chanting to perfect his chanting. Same in Bhakti also, there will be both. So the 64 items of devotional service that Srila Rupa Goswami has explained, it contains both Vidhi and Nisheth. Especially the first 20, the 10 are do's and the 10 are don'ts. The first 10 are do's. Adav, Guru, Pada, Shraya, approach a spiritual master. Sadharma Pricha, inquire about Sadharma from him. And then Krishna Diksha, Shikshanam, take Diksha, take Shiksha from him. Sadhu Vartman, Vartmanam, follow the path of the sadhus. Many such first 10 he explains the do's. And the next 10 he mentions don'ts. And both are very, very important. Only when you do both will we make proper progress. That's why very specifically he has told tat. So till now we have learned Utsaha Nishaya Dhairyat. But for what? For tat karma pravartanat. In executing the regulative principles of devotional service, one should have this utsaha, nishchaya, and dhairya. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur gives explanation that vidhi and nishchaya, and Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur goes a bit deeper. Initially, he says that to understand those who are jnanis, those who are uh, bhakti kami, mukti kami, their services to Krishna are not actually services. Hmm. So, neglecting their rules and regulations and accepting the rules and regulations of bhakti, that is Tat Karma Pravartanat. And that is the first definition by Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And then he says a bit deeper definition. He says there are three levels of devotees. Which are the three levels we discussed some time back from the purport of Srila Prabhupada? What are the three levels of devotees?
कनिष्ठ मध्यम उत्तम
Yeah, Kanishta Adhikari, Madhyam Adhikari, and Uttam Adhikari. Kanishta Adhikari is one who has very less faith and very less knowledge, or practically no knowledge of scriptures. Madhyam Adhikari, little bit knowledge of scriptures but has faith. And Uttam Adhikari is maximum faith and maximum knowledge of scriptures. So these three levels of devotees should perform devotional activities as per their level. Mhm. As per what is most beneficial for them, and they should not try to imitate the activities of another adhikar. If he's a Kanishta adhikari, he should stick to his own adhikar. Madhyam adhikari should do activities, the do's and don'ts at his level. And Uttam adhikari should do activities at his own level. That is tat karma pravartanat. When you act as per your level, then you advance properly. So how many tat karmas are there? Which one has to practice? So as I discussed in the beginning, Harida Bhakti Vilas mentions millions. Millions. But Rupa Goswami has uh, specified them into 64. Now from where Rupa Goswami got this? So Rupa Goswami got these 64 principles from Krishna's instructions to Uddhava. So this appears in 11th canto, 19th chapter, text 20 to 24. Okay. So Krishna was explaining to Uddhava how one can obtain bhakti for him. And he says, Shraddhamrita kathayam me. Shraddha in Amrita kathayam me. One should do with faithful shravan of my katha. That is one name. Shashvan mad anukirtanam. Constantly one should do glorification of Krishna. Parinishta cha pujayam. He should have full nishtha or faith in the worship of the Lord. Stutibhi stavanam mama. One should recite many stavas, many songs, many prayers in stuti, in glorification of mama, of Krishna. Adaraha paricharyayam. So whatever the paricharya one is doing, one should have a lot of respect. Respect, with respect, one should do paricharya. Sarvange Rabhivandanam. One should offer obeisances with all the limbs. Sarvange. Madbhakta Puja Vyadika. One should do first class worship of his devotees. Sarvabhuteshu Manmatihi. One should see Krishna in all living beings. Mad Artheshwa Anga Cheshta Cha. For Krishna, one should do all endeavors, all the physical endeavors that one is carrying out, should do for Krishna. Vachasamat Gunenam. One should speak to glorify Krishna. Mai Arpanam Cha Manasaha. One should uh, dedicate his mind to Krishna. Sarvakama Vivarjanam. One should become free from all material desires. Mad Arthe Artha Parityago. For my sake, one should give up wealth or one should give donations. Bhogasya cha sukhasya cha. For Krishna, one should give up bhoga. For Krishna, one should give up sukha. Ishtam dattam hutam japtam mad artham yad vratam tapaha. For my sake, one should do vrata, tapa, ishta, datta, huta, japa. All these activities one should do for my sake. Whatever vows, whatever austerities, whatever worship, whatever giving away in charity, whatever sacrifices you do, all this one should do for Krishna. Now comes the last verse. Emam dhairve dhar emam dharmair manushyanam. These are the dharmas for human beings. Uddhavatma nivedanam. निवेदनां मयि संजायते भक्ति को अन्यो अर्थो avashishyate. By carrying out these dharmas, Mai Sanjayate Bhakti, one will obtain bhakti for me. So why are we doing all these activities, Tat Tat Karma Pravartanat? For obtaining bhakti for Krishna. But one should not just do these activities externally. As I discussed last time, from Gita 12.9. अथ चित्त समाधातुं न शक्नोसि मयि स्थरम. 12.8 Krishna says, give your mind to me, give your consciousness to me. If you cannot, then abhyasa yogena tato. Abhyasa yoga is tat tat karma pravartana, sadhana bhakti. But how one has to do sadhana bhakti? Mam ichhaptum dhananjaya. With an intense desire to obtain me. So with that desire to obtain prema for Krishna, with the desire to obtain bhakti for Krishna, one should carry out these limbs of bhakti. And these limbs which are described here, that Rupa Goswami expanded into 64 activities. But 64 may not be possible for everyone. Rupa Goswami says, no problem. There are 5 most potent forms of devotional service. At least you do that tat tat karma pravartan. What is that? Even if 64 is not possible, the 5 most potent forms, even little association with any one of them or all of them can help one gain perfection. साधु संग नाम कीर्तन भागवत श्रवण मथुरावास श्रीमूर्तिर श्रद्धया सेवन. At least these 5 tat karma one should do. Sadhu sanga, nama kirtan, bhagavad shravan every day. Every day these things should happen. Mathuravas, so even if one is not able to go and reside in Mathura, one can make one's own home, Mathura. Or one can go to ISKCON temples which are not different than Mathura. And Shri Murtira Shraddhaya Sevan. So one should also worship the deities. So these are most potent 5 forms. Further, actually Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that even if these 5 are not possible, even if these 5 are not possible for someone, no problem. He says just focus on 2. Can you guess which are these 2?
Chanting and
Hearing and chanting.
Hearing and chanting. Interesting. Any other? I'll not say whether you are correct or not correct. I want to first hear from many devotees. What is your
Sadhu
name?
Sangha.
Okay, Sadhu Sangha, association. So which are the 2 most important? You have to tell 2. Okay, Sadhu Sangha and Nama Kirtan, Brajan Nandan Prabhu, very bold. Thank you. So Sadhu Sangha and Nama Kirtan, he says. Not just Sadhu Sangha, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says Vaishnava Seva. Don't just associate with Vaishnavas, say serve the Vaishnavas. These 2 are the most potent forms. He says, even if you cannot do 5, do Nam Kirtan and Vaishnava Seva. Mahi yasam pada rajobhishekam nishkinchananan vrinita yavat. Only when we smear our bodies with the dust of the feet of the devotees will we attain perfection. So that is tat tat karma pravartan that we should do. Although we say in Kali Yuga, there is only one dharma. The 5 limbs verse is Madhya 22.128. Madhya 22.128. And these 2 things that Bhaktivinoda Thakur mentions, that is in Bhakti Alok, in the same chapter of Tat Tat Karma Pravartan. Like that. And there is only one Yuga Dharma for Kali Yuga. What is that? Even if it
Nam
says 2 are
Sankirtan.
not possible, only one. Only one is possible. Then what is that? Nam Sankirtan. So Sankirtan means coming together and doing. So again, association is something that we cannot compromise upon. Sankirtan is coming together and uh, practicing devotional service or glorifying the Lord. So now just few minutes that we have, I wish to complete this topic of the Tat Karma Pravartan, and we will be able to, not much remaining now. So now, one thing that Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur mentions here, that there sometimes we'll observe some exceptions, and seeing those exceptions, one should not transgress the general rules. Sometimes you will see some personality who did not undergo a proper initiation in a proper sampradaya, but still went back home, back to Godhead. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says one should not give that example as an excuse and skip the activity of Tat Tat Kapa Pravartan, that I will not take initiation. I will not surrender to Guru. Because that personality, he perfected his life without taking initiation. He gives example of Jada Bharat. Jada Bharat did not take any initiation, but he went back to Godhead. One cannot quote that example saying that I will not follow the rules. Are there any other personalities whom we can think of who did not take initiation in one of the four sampradayas, but still went back to Godhead? Okay, Mirabai, correct? Ajamila. I think Ajamila was directly initiated by the Vishnu Dutas, I think. But yeah, see some practitioners like Mirabai, we see even Chandidas, whose songs Chaitanya Mahaprabhu here, he was not in one of the four sampradayas. Jayadev Goswami, whose songs Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appreciated so much, was also not in one of the four sampradayas. But obviously they have gone back from back to Godhead. Now one should not quote their example. Hey, Tat Tat Karpa Praradhana you are telling for me, not about them. Sorry. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says by Bhagavan's sweet will, anything can happen. Anything can happen by Bhagavan's sweet will. Because he is full of inconceivable potencies. And he gives example that Dhruv Maharaj went back home, back to God in the material body, in the same body. That is God's will. You cannot question that. If he wants, he can even send you in this body back home, back to God. But don't take these kind of exceptional examples and make them rules. If you do that, then you are breaking this principle of Tat Tat Karma Parvartan. We have to endeavor. We cannot say another thing we have to understand. We cannot say, oh, Prabhu, you already told success is only by sweet will of the Lord. Nayam Atma Pravachanena Labhyo. Then why are you saying Tat Tat Karma Pravartan? If it is only a aspect of mercy, then why are you making us undergo all these difficult processes? So Acharya has mentioned that yes, to attract that mercy, one has to do Tatkar Karma Pravartan. Because even if mercy comes, you also should be eager for it. Lord has to see that you want that mercy. Uh, our endeavors will not become cause of attracting mercy, but our endeavors can attract. Or at least will show our intention to attract mercy. So yes, as Shamchandra Guru says, example of this endeavor and mercy, like a farmer. So farmer has to sow the seed, but crops will come only when the rains will come, only when sunlight will come. So only when his endeavor and Krishna's mercy combines, then he will get the result of crop. Or if he says, oh, only when rains come and sunlight will come, then grains will come. Why should I work hard and sow the seed? You have to work hard because tomorrow rains may come, sunlight may come. But if you did not do your work of sowing the seed, how will you get grains? So we cannot fully depend upon providence. We have to do our part. And there is classical Subhashit from Panchatantra, not Subhashit, from Panchatantra. This example comes that Udyamena hi siddhyanti karyani na manorathe. Your activities become perfect only when Udyamena, when you work for it, not by manorath, not by imagining. And example given is Nahi Suptasya Simhasya Pravishanti Pravishanti Mukhe Mriga. Or somebody says nahi suttasya simhasya vishanti vadane mriga. Even a tiger who is or lion who is the king of the forest has to work to get a deer. It's not that he keeps sleeping, opens his mouth, and deer will come and put his neck. Oh, Tiger Prabhu, you are hungry. Please chant Mahaprasade Govinda. I will offer you myself, offer myself to you. No, even tiger has to work. So one has to work. If you neglect, Rose, can we, Rose and Mataji, can we extend for 3-4 minutes? We're going to complete this so that the next class will start the new limb. So just one, two references, vital references I want to show from Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu directly. This is 1 to 63, very important one for devotees to know this. See, this is Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. Rupa Goswami says, if you neglect limbs of bhakti, then that adds fault in your bhakti. He says, ananusthano, anushthanato dosho bhakti anganam prajayate na karmanam akaranat esha bhakti adhikarinam. What he says here is, if a person is qualified for bhakti, he may skip activities of varna and ashram. By being eligible for bhakti, if one skips activities of his varna and ashram, no fault arises. But if he skips the limbs of bhakti, which are recommended to him by his spiritual master, that adds fault in his bhakti. Obviously, the next verse is not for us, but it's also good to know. Is it that even if some bhakta does some sinful activity, he doesn't have to have any prayashchitta, because bhakti itself is the greatest medicine. Nishiddhachar, even if one does some Nishiddhachar, Daivat, by some providence, Prayashchittam tu nochita. Bhakta doesn't have to do any prayashchit. Why? Because it is in bhakti. Bhakti is the greatest prayashchit. Iti Vaishnava Shastranam Rahasyam Tad Vidam Matam. This is Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1 to 63 and 64. I just read the translation. The person qualified for bhakti is at fault for failing to perform all the important sanghas of bhakti. So if you don't do important sanghas of bhakti, then you are at fault. But he is not at fault for failing to perform duties of varna and ashram. If he is eligible for bhakti, then only. Otherwise, he gets fault here also. If he by chance happened to commit some sin, there is no atonement prescribed for him. This is the opinion of those who know the secret of Vaishnava scriptures. Because he's doing bhakti, he doesn't need any atonement. He just has to focus on the regular tat karma parvartan in aspects of bhakti. So one may be doing big services. Someone may say, I'm bringing so many funds, I'm building big temples, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. But if he does not carry out the important limbs of bhakti, he is at fault. He cannot say that I'm not chanting 16 rounds because Janmashtami is there. I'm not chanting 16 rounds because I have so much temple construction to be done. No, one has to follow tat karma parvartanat. Only then bhakti prasiddhiti. Only then bhakti. And this is there in all the sampradayas. Any path you catch, there will be tat karma, which one has to engage in. So one has to practice bhakti in this mode. And when done like this, then we depend on Krishna's mercy, and then we'll obtain success. Thank you all very much for being so patient and agreeing to extend. We'll stop here. In case anybody has any question, then we'll stay back. We'll take break for 1 minute, and then I'll be available for any comments or questions. So officially we end the class now. Shri Padeshamrit ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Rupa Goswami Pada ki jai, Samaveta Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Thank God, Premanande. Hare Krishna. Thank you for joining. Hare Krishna. Yes, Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Please accept my humble obeisance. So, Prabhuji, I just wanted to make a gist of what we have studied. So, in connection of bhakti means you said that when you were explaining Taddat Karma Pravartate, you explained that we should carry 5 limbs of bhakti, where Sadhu Sangha, Nama Krishna. This CC Madhya Leela, you referred for that. And then what should be our desire? It is like this SB BG 12.9 that you referred in order to explain us that what should we should have an intense desire to perform bhakti.
That I quoted to explain that we should do bhakti with a mood of attaining Krishna. Mam ichhaptum dhananjaya. Krishna says that you can do abhyasen yogena tato. You can do abhyas yoga, you can do sadhana bhakti, but not mechanically.
Yeah.
The abhyas yoga should be done with an intense desire to obtain Krishna or Krishna prem.
Okay. So, like, if I have to go back, so limbs of bhakti, and then a mood to attend Krishna, that can help us to have. If we follow the limbs of bhakti, we can have mood to attend Krishna. And what Krishna says that how we can attain that you have explained from 11.90, 11:19, 20 to 24. This verse was in connection to that. That how
Yeah.
Krishna explains it to the Uddhava, right? Uddhava.
Yeah, Krishna is telling to Uddhava what are the limbs of sadhana bhakti. He explained all that, and Rupa Goswami gave it very elaborately, like 10 do's, the 10 don'ts, and then Archana Paddhati, and many such things in different sections he has given in 64. So we should do all 64, if not at least 5, if not 5, at least 2, like that. Correct?
Yeah,
And then
thank you very much.
and all this can be done, but with a desire to obtain Krishna.
Desire to obtain Krishna. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna.
So Neha Mataji has a question. Can you please recap 3 levels of devotees? Kanishta is engaged in devotional service but has no faith and no knowledge of scriptures. Madhyam has firm faith but may not have full knowledge of scriptures. Uttam has full faith and full knowledge. Yes, it is correct. Also, a more detailed understanding of this you will get in one of the next verses. We have one full text on these 3 categories of devotees. On the 3 levels, there you will see. Yes, it is correct. Thank you, Madam. And Naveen Bro is saying, examples we saw enthusiasm, faith, and patience comes one after another, but I think it should be together. What is your point of view? Because you need patience to have complete faith as well. You come across situations where your faith gets questioned, so need to be patient there. Correct. We need all 3 together. And that's why Prabhupada also has given commentary very mixed. If you see the explanations, he's saying we have to have confidence and patience together. Correct, no? If you read the chapter which I shared, initially enthusiasm he clearly explained, but patience and confidence, the faith and the patience he has explained together. And then further he has given this explanation on confidence, which should be on the basis of scriptures, like that. So even if one comes across situation which is difficult, questions may come, but surely he has to have patience. But one more thing which can help him deal with difficult situations is firm faith in scriptures. The firm faith in scriptures that scriptures mention, I'm convinced. No discussion. Shabda says, so it is true, because there is no other way to gain knowledge. So that automatically helps him generate patience. Also. So that's why Nishchay is one element that Prabhupada has so elaborately described in this chapter. Amongst all 6, although Sangha Tyaga he could have elaborated, but all this he has given little, but Nishchay is practically 60% of the chapter is Nishchay. Does it answer your question? Okay. Nishchay is Sattva, balances the other 2. Utsaha is Rajas, and Dharyat is Tamas. Interesting. Nishchay is Sattva.
Sorry, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji Pranam. I think only Rajas, it's only enthusiasm, it's Rajas, and only patience, it's Tamas. In that category, it fall in that category. But
Correct.
determination, it's kind of Sattva, so it balances the other two. It's in my opinion. I don't know.
You can write another commentary on Upadeshamrit Mataji. Very interesting, huh? Yeah, actually, that another thing I could not discuss, that only Dhairya, without Tat Karma Pravatana, is tamas. He says, I'll not do anything. I'll just lie down. And whenever Krishna wants to give Krishna prem, he will give me. That is tamas. That is correct. I was wondering how Dharya is actually goodness. But yeah, if one is only doing Dharya, then that is tamas. Very interesting. Deep realization. Thank you for sharing that. Yes, Akhilesh Mataji.
So yeah, my next question is in this regard only, Prabhuji. So when we have Utsaha, Dhairya, Nishya, so how we explain Kanishta Adhikari, Madhyam Adhikari, and Uttam Adhikari in this level actually?
Okay. So as Prabhupada explained, a Kanishta Adhikari will not have Nishchayat. He may have Utsaha initially. He will come, like Prabhupada says, in our preaching mission, we have seen many people come and practice. But as soon as they practice for some time, after some time, they go away. So they may have Utsaha, but patience, there is no question because their goal is only different. So they may come and go away for some time. Utsaha will be there, but no Nishchaya. And surely no Nishchaya, so no Dhairya also. Those are Madhyam Adhikaris. They come, they have Utsaha because of some faith that they have. They may not have Nishchaya so much, but they also have some patience. Some patience. They are able to practice themselves. Although they don't have so much Nishchaya on the path of Bhakti, so much scriptural knowledge, but they are able to practice. I mean, there's no specific, like, clear demarcation. This is quite mixed. And yeah, one who is Uttamadhikari will have all three. Utsahat, Nishchayat, Dhairyat. There's one more point actually I wanted to make, which I missed. When you asked this question, it struck to me that in Nishchayat, it is important that one finds out what helps me increase my Nishchaya. Some people will get it by study of scriptures. Some people may get it by activating certain limbs of devotional service. Like somebody does deity worship, and while doing deity worship, he experiences great satisfaction in his heart. He experiences great purification in his heart. And that gives him Nishcha. Yes, Bhakti works. This is the path I'm to practice. Somebody may get it by association of some great souls. Somebody may get faith by whatever, different things. So one has to find out what is my need, what helps me gain that way, and engage more in that tat karma pravartan. Not everyone will do this. Somebody gets a lot of faith by studying scriptures. So somebody gets a lot of faith by going to Dham. By going to Dham, having darshan of devotees and the deities and various holy places, feels, yes, this is the path I want to practice. This really works. So one has to find out what is that thing that gives me Nishchay and do that more. Tat tat karma pravartan. This maybe I'll mention next time in the beginning of class. And
So, Prabhuji, in that regard, like if we have interest in reading Vaishnav bhajans, so like, I don't know, means for me, it is like I feel more connection to songs, the way Ramcharitmanas has been written, the way Chaitanya Charitamrita is written. I get more interest in aligning with some poetic versions. So can we just not, we should not but skip, right? But because Bhagavad Gita is this hour, I know when Bhagavad Gita also, somebody like you or many other devotees, they speak, it feels like the same way. But how should we deal in that case? Because that is the SAR, we have to study it. But we the nishyat get more when we read, Vaishnav
Yeah.
Bhajan. And
So
I
one
see
thing,
all the Vaishnav Bhajan has this connection in the scriptures. That
yeah,
is
yeah.
there.
See, Vaishnava bhajans are basically most condensed content of all the scriptures. What is mentioned in Gita, what is mentioned in Bhagavatam, what is mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrita, everything is condensed very nicely and summarized in Vaishnava Gita. So that way Vaishnava Gita are complete, and one can take blessings from one's spiritual master, and then one can do all these things also, not a problem. You can just take blessings, ki, can I do these things more? And the spiritual master will tell, okay, this much you study Gita, at least one, this much in a week or whatever, and this much time you can surely spend in Vaishnava songs or whatever Ramcharitmanas and other things. So by taking blessings, if one does this, then there is no problem. Then,
So Ramcharitmanas I just gave as example
yeah,
because
yeah,
that was my earlier learning. But
correct.
it's like the CC is also like that. It explains it in a very poetic way, and
Yeah.
the explanation is also aligned. So
So
yeah,
then that thing one has to do more. That will help you nourish and flourish very much. That is the
thank you
thing.
very much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisance.
Visham Chandra was written Nischayat and Dhairyat would be in full with Uttama and to some extent in Madhyama. Yes, because Madhyam does not have so much understanding of scriptures, but he has some faith, some nishtha. So even if sometimes some doubts come, he may be able to continue for some time. And depends how it goes. He may not be able to answer, but he has faith that no, I feel this is correct. This is correct path. Although he doesn't have such a clear understanding of scriptures, but he's able. We see many people. They want to practice. They are not heard basic courses or whatever. They are happy. So yeah, they have some nishchaya, some conviction and dhairya also. But Uttama Adhikari has full understanding of scripture. There's no need of dhairya. Many times Uttama Adhikari is already attained. So they don't need separately this aspect of dhairya. Okay, so we'll stop here. Thank you all very much. Okay, one more question. Does Uttam come down to platform of Madhyam for the purpose of preaching? Yes. Because Uttamadhikari, he sees everyone as pure devotee except himself. His understanding is all these are pure devotees, but they're acting like non-devotees to teach me how I should not be acting. So ये सब लोग मुझे डिवोटी बनाने के लिए पड़े. So whom should I preach? I have to preach myself. That is the consciousness of very Uttam Mahabhagavat. But he comes down to the level of discrimination, which is with Madhyamadhikari. ईश्वरे तदधीनेषु बालिशेषु दुषशुष प्रेम मैति कृपोपेक्षा यह करोति समध्यम. So he has that element of compassion. He has that element of maintaining distance from people who are blasphemous. So he comes down to Uttam and with that discrimination is able to preach. So this also will come in the next future text of NOI. Okay. But that's a very high platform. Like Prabhupada and all these kind of acharyas, they come from Uttam Adhikari to Madhyam Adhikari for the sake of preaching. Let's stop here. Shri Amrit ki jai. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Samaveta Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Nitai Gaur.